Hello everyone, welcome to another precon unboxing. Today we are doing the Bloomborough Commander Deck Animated Army. Make trash, do smash. Yeah! Let's do this. I've wanted the Bloomborough decks for a while now. I've got all 4 of them. I've only got one in my room right now. Squirreled away. The other 2, the Group Hug and Family Matters, is going to the other monkey, being Mega Matthew 75. Pretty cool box thing. We got a flying, counters, whatnot, all that fun stuff. Oh, whoa, oh, the poster. The poster. Bello, Bard of the Brambles. I'm not seeing a thick commander, which is unfortunate. I think they discontinued that. Throw that box over there. Let's see what we got. Oh, we get a collector booster sample pack. That's pretty awesome. The box, which has Bello on it. Let's see what we get in this. Alright, we're gonna get a mythic. That's Liliana of the Veil. Camilla the Seed Miser. This could be a commander for the squirrel deck. Oh, I could put both of these in there. That's pretty cool. Well, okay, in the squirrel deck, I forgot I was doing animated army. Camilla could be in there. Well, alright. Well, let's get into it. I've been very excited for Bloomborough for a long time. Well, for a long time, I was excited when I saw that they were reprinting the swords. Like a Feast and Famine and such. Alright, I'll be right back after I get this plastic off. Alright. Well, I've got the deck out of its box. Okay, my cat's meowing now. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. My cat just wanted some pets. He wanted to be loved. And I love my little cat, so had to go and give him some pets. Alright, we've got Bello, Bard of the Brambles. He's a 3-cost Gruul creature. Legendary Raccoon Bard. Ooh, man, I'm tired. Gotta go golfing tomorrow. Whoa. Looked at the first 3 cards. Pretty cool. During your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature in addition to its other types. And has indestructible haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Whoa, that's pretty good. That's the face commander. And judging on the little bit of a preview I got from the other ones, okay, not the preview, the little like wording I saw on the other cards, I'm not gonna like the replacement commander here. It's a 5-cost Gruul. Trample. Enchantment spells you cast from your hand have Cascade. I don't like the Cascade mechanic very much. Oh man, my cat wants some love again. Alright. My little cat is here. You can see his feet right there. There he is. That's my cat. His name is Pico. He was named after the Tom and Jerry character. But this is a magic showcase, not a cat showcase. We gotta get you out of here, little dude. Oh, whoops, accidentally nudged my table there. Alright, so next we've got a Planeswalker. But first, let's go over these tokens, because I want to get through that. Treasures. A lot of treasures. A hamster, some cats, more hamsters. City's Blessing, Beasts, Saprolings, Prosperous Bandit, and Beasts. I might have to steal those Saprolings for the whatever deck it was. Token Triumph. Alright, next one is Domri. Anarch of Bolas. Oh, I should probably read off what he does. 3-cost Gruul. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Add a red or green. Creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered. And -2. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. I'll be right back. I'm going to separate the basic lands from everything else so this can be done a little bit quicker. Alright, so next we got Itali Primal Storm. It's a 6-cost red Spinosaurus Elder Dinosaur looking guy. He's pretty cool. And whenever he attacks... Whenever he attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana cost. That's pretty good. Next we got Prosperous Bandit, which has Offspring 1. You may pay an additional 1 as you cast a spell. If you do, copy it. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. First strike, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many tapped treasure tokens. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. And then we got Pyre Swipe Hawk. It's a 5-cost elemental bird with flying haste. And when it attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest mana value among artifacts you control. Whenever you expend 6, gain control of up to 1 target artifact is for as long as you control Pyre Swipe Hawk. You expend 6 as you cast your 6th total mana to cast spells during a turn. So that's pretty good. That's the 5th. You only got to do 1 more mana after that to get an artifact. Alchemist's Talent. It is an enchantment class that costs 4 originally. When it enters, create 2 tap treasure tokens, and for 2 mana, treasures you control have tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any one color. That's pretty good. Then for 5, whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, this class deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to each opponent. Berserker's Onslaught. Attacking creatures you control have double strike for 5 mana. That's not too bad. Outpost Siege. Cons or dragons. 4 mana, you choose cons or dragons when it enters. If you choose cons at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. Then until the end of turn, you may play that card. And dragons, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. That's good for Goblin Burn. Oh, there's my cat. He's right here. Right here. He's a destructive little dude, but I like him. Reign of Riches. When it enters, create 2 treasure tokens. The first spell you cast each turn with mana that mana from a treasure was spent to cast has Cascade. Chaos Warp. We all know what Chaos Warp does. It's oh, my cat's eating my hat. Hold on. There we are. I just had to get him off my hat. Just got to give him a little gentle push. Like, dude, stop eating it. It's made of straw. You can't eat that. Chaos Warp. 3 mana. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library. Then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Now my cat is eating a plastic bag. That's just too bad for him. Sunbird's Invocation. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the spell's mana value. You may cast a spell with mana value X or less from among cards revealed this way, without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Okay, let me just grab the rest of these red cards so there's not so much in my hands. Starstorm. Deals X damage to each creature, then has cycling 3. It's an X red spell. Gratuitous Violence. It's a 5-cost. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. It's pretty good. Warstorm Surge. Whenever a creature you control enters, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That's a pretty expensive impact, Tremors. Well, I guess it's its power, so that's pretty good. Whoa! I just grabbed a stack of cards off the top. There's a pretty cool dinosaur in here. Lotus Cobra. We all know what Lotus Cobra does. It's a kind of a mana dork. It's a 2-cost landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, add 1 mana of any color. Evercoat Ursine. It's 5-cost, trample with Hideaway 3, Hideaway 3. When this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order, then do it again. So it's Hideawaying once, then it's hiding away twice. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, if there are cards exiled with it, you may play one of them without paying its mana cost. Bright Cat Badger. Don't like these adventure cards, but it's a 4-cost. If you want to pay 3, you get Fungus Frolic. You create 2 1/1 green sapperling creature tokens. Then, if you pay to play the Badger, each fungus and sapperling you control has tap to add a green. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. Nice. Okay. Trial Tracker Scout. It's a 2-cost mana dork that adds 1 mana of any color. Whenever you expend 8, return up to 1 target permanent hand from your graveyard to your hand. I said hand. Permanent card. Thickest in the Thicket. It's a 5-cost. When it enters, put X 1/1 counters on it on target creature where X is that creature's power. This next card is going to be a pretty good combo with that. At the beginning of your end step, draw 2 cards if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. Now we're just going to cover up the power toughness here. Gahalta Primal Hunger. It's a 12-cost. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. Trample. It's a 12/12. This could be a 2-mana spell for a 12/12. Oh my gosh. This is a ridiculous card right here. Ridiculous. That's a very good card. Alright. Esika's Chariot. When it enters, create 2 2/2 green cat creature tokens. When it attacks, it creates a copy of target token you control. And it's crew 4. Unnatural Growth. It's a 5-cost enchantment. At the beginning of combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Now think about that. If you were to do that with the 12/12, making it a 24/24, and then playing the Unnatural Growth, that's a 48/48 right there. That's lethal. That's a lethal trample card. That's ridiculous. Greater Good. 4-cost enchantment. Sacrifice a creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power. Then discard 3 cards. Oh, well, if you play it with the big guy, you could be drawing 48 cards. Not that you'd want to do that, but... Whoa, I've seen this guy before. It's 6-cost. Kodama of the East Tree. Read. Whenever another permanent you control enters, if it wasn't put into the great battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand onto the battlefield. This is a partner commander, too. Oh, this is a... That is hilarious. Grothama, All Devouring. It's a 5-cost, 10/8. Other creatures have, whenever this creature attacks, you may have it fight Grothama, All Devouring. When it leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Grothama this turn by sources they controlled. That's interesting. Have the 48/48 out, right, guys? Rampaging Ballads. It's a 6-cost landfall. Whenever a land enters, you may create a 4/4 green beast creature token. A lot of tokens here. Oh, we're getting into the non-basic lands soon. Bootlegger Stash. It's a 6-cost. Lands you control have tap to create a treasure token. That's not bad at all. Primeval Bounty. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 1/1 counters on a target creature you control. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 3 life. For 6 mana, that's pretty good. Oh, here's one of my favorite artifacts of all time. Gilded Lotus. 5 mana to add 3 mana of any one color. It's kind of like a Black Lotus, just 5 mana more expensive, and you don't have to sacrifice it. Okay. Spine of Ish-Sa. When it enters, destroy target permanent. And when it is put into a graveyard, return Spine of Ish-Sa to its owner's hand. It's a really, really expensive destruction spell. Destruction. It's interesting. It's really interesting. Temple of Abandon. When it enters tapped, and when it enters, you scry 1. Then you add a red or green. This is Karsplusion Forest. It taps to add a colorless, and then you can have it tap for a red or green, and it deals 1 damage to you. Exotic Orchard. Adds 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Sheltered Thicket. It enters tapped and has cycling 2. Game Trail. When it enters, you may reveal a mountain or forest card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. Raging Ravine enters tapped. You can add a green or red. Then for 4 mana, it can turn into a 3/3. And elemental creature, red and green. Whenever this creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. It's still a land. When Copperline Gorge enters, it enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Oh, dude, there's so many non-base. Oh. Whoa. They decided... What is it, Pico? Why are you crying? They added some more creatures under here. Mossfire Valley. You can pay 1 to add a Gruul. Cinderglade. It enters tap unless you control 2 or more basic lands. It can tap for either one or the other. This enters tapped unless you control a mountain or forest. Rootbound Crag. Mosswort Bridge, Hideaway 4. It enters tapped. You can tap it to add a green. Then for a green tap, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if creatures you control have power 10 or greater. Blasphemous Act. Like I said, they didn't put all... This wasn't all just basic lands. I kind of freaked me out. I was like, this wouldn't be a lot to have. But we got Blasphemous Act. It costs 1 less for each creature on the battlefield. It deals 13 damage to each creature. It's a 9 cost, but it can be a 1 cost. Llanowar Loam Speaker. It's a 2 cost mana dork. Target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn. If it's still a land, activate only as a sorcery. Tendershoot Dryad. Ascend. Oh, it's a City's Blessing. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get City's Blessing. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. Saprolings you control get 2/2, +2/+2, as long as you have the City's Blessing. Oh, the cat's on my bed. Goreclaw, Terror of Kalsisma. Creature spells you cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. Whenever Goreclaw, Terror of Kalsisma attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. The other monkey won a commander game with that as his commander once. It's his ramp deck that doesn't always ramp. Path of Discovery. Whenever a creature you control enters, it explores. Wow. This is a good card for the Merfolk deck for sure. Reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Then put the card back or put it into your library. I do love the Explore trigger. It's a very, very fun mechanic, and it's in my Explorers of the Deep precon that is upgraded. Yay! Decimate. It's a 4-cost Gruul. Target artifact, target creature, target enchantment, and target land. You destroy 1 of each. Oh, you destroy 1 of each. Okay. Rolling Hamsphere. It's a 7-cost 4/4. It gets +1/+1 for each hamster you control. When it attacks, create 3 1/1 red hamster creature tokens. Then it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of hamsters you control. And then you crew 3. Wow, this is a very token matters deck. Full of cool artifacts and enchantments and stuff. Very fun. Very nice. I heard something. Teapot Slinger. Menace, when you expend 4, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Explore, you may play an additional land this turn. Draw a card, 2 mana. Farseek, it's a 2 cost again. Search your library for a Plains, Island, Swamp, or Mountain card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Cultivate, search your library for 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards, put 1 onto the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand, then shuffle. It's a 3 cost. Grumgully the Generous, each other non-human creature you control enters with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Wandertail Mentor, it's a Gruul. Whenever you expend 4, put a 1/1 counter on Wandertail Mentor. Then it also taps for a red or green. Thought Vessel, 2 cost artifact. You have no maximum hand size. Add colorless mana. Arcane Signet, 2 cost. Everyone knows what Arcane Signet does. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Hey, Pico, please don't go up on my windowsill. He's a good cat when he wants to be. He just happens to never want to be here. All right, split this. I've got just a few cards left. And by a few, I mean I've got 2 little piles. Wooded Ridgeline. It's a non-basic land that can tap for either a green or blue, red or green, and it enters tapped. Big Score. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens for 4 mana. That's not bad. A Braid. Choose 1 for 2 mana. Deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. Rampant Growth. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle for 2 mana. Sakura Tribuilder. Sacrifice Sakura Tribuilder. Search your library for a basic land card. Then put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Hold on a second. There we are. Beast Within. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. Garruk's Pack Leader. Whenever another creature you control with power of 3 or greater enters, you may draw a card. 4/4 for 5 mana. Harmonize. 4 mana to draw 3 cards. Garruk's Uprising. When it enters, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature you control with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. For 3 mana, that's a really good enchantment. Ooh, Signets. I do love my Signets. Gruul Signet. 2 mana. For 1 mana, you add 1 of each. A red and green. Burnished Heart. You can sacrifice it, search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Then put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Hadron Archive. Add 2 colorless mana. Then you can sacrifice it for 2 mana, tap it, and then you can draw 2 cards. Felwar Stone. Add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Thran Dynamo. Whew, I didn't know this thing existed. It's a 4 cost artifact that taps to add 3 colorless mana. It's kind of similar to the card I'm about to show next, but not at all. It's a Soul Ring. It's a 1 cost that taps to add 2 mana. One of the best artifacts ever. Mind Stone. It's a 2 cost that taps for a colorless. You can sacrifice it, draw a card for 1 mana. Talisman of Impulse, 2 cost that adds a colorless. Then you can add a red or green, and it deals 1 damage to you. Terramorphic Expanse. It's a sack land. You play it, you sacrifice it for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then you shuffle. Path of Ancestry. It enters tapped, and add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. I don't think I've seen any other raccoons. Unless I have, then I'm just not smart. But I don't think I've seen any raccoons. Gruul Turf. It enters tapped, and when it enters, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Well, I do like those cards. Evolving Wilds. It's the same as Terramorphic Expanse. It does the exact same thing. You play it, you tap it, sacrifice it, then you search for a basic land card. Forgotten Cave. It enters tapped. It cycles for 1. You can tap to add for a red. Tranquil Thicket does the exact same thing as Forgotten Cave, just with the green. Command Tower. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Reliquary Tower. You have no maximum hand size, and it taps for 1 mana. Well, guys, that is the... I don't know what this deck is called anymore. It's the Animated Army Precon. Now, here are the 3 really cool cards I got. I got Domri, Anarch of Bolas, Wildseer Scouring Maw, a wolf. Oh, whoops, there we are. Then Bellow, Bard of the Brambles. I gotta say, of all these cards, Bellow is my absolute favorite. I think I'll be upgrading that deck pretty well. I'll try to do it the best I can. Well, guys, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't feel pressured to subscribe or anything like that. I hope you had a good time. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.